Okay, my name is Jim Jameson. I am Product Manager from Norco Products in Canada, and I'm here in Australia to be part of the launch for the Aurum. This is a World Cup level downhill bike, inspired by our team around the world and raced all over the world. It's available now in carbon and aluminum, and it's a 650B wheel race bike. The Aurum uses our ART suspension. The main benefit of ART suspension is it takes up square edge bumps very well as the rear axle tracks rearward slightly and over the bump. The progressive leverage ratio helps for small edge bump compliance as well as ramps up for big hits. Our gravity tune system that we incorporate on all our models of full suspension, the chainstays grow in length as the size grows, so our bikes fit proportionally better for different rider sizes. So a small will have a shorter chainstay length and it'll grow on a medium and large. It just fits the rider better and they're more centered and balanced over the bike. Some of the cool details and changes from the previous Aurum, we now have bearings in the linkage. In the past we used a bushing system here. There's less stiction now using a bearing. Some of the other details would be we're running external cables, quick for race day changes for cable for derailleur or brake. So that was a purpose-built feature. As well as the guards on the Aurum, you'll see a bump stop here that also works as a shuttle guard, and it also works as a cable guide. In behind that is a fender that you can remove with just a couple bolts. Take that away, put it back on a wet day. You'll see a small little thing we call a coat hanger here. Just a detail, but keeping the cable away from the frame so it doesn't rub on the carbon. A few other small details in the frame. We also use a 142 rear end with an 83mm BB shell. We're optimizing the chain line for 7-speed drivetrain. So as opposed to traditional bikes that would run a 157 rear end. So another detail kind of built around the SRAM XO1DH group. A few other details, internal seat post clamp, and we also use a press-in headset cup, which is more suited towards offering an angle set compatibility. So often a drop-in bearing, you can't use an angle set, so you can't adjust your head tube angle. To compare the carbon and alloy, we use the identical rear end on the aluminum bike. All the kinematics and geometry are the same. The only difference is a full alloy front triangle with a hydroform seat tube and form top and down tube. It's about 450 grams heavier than the carbon, but the carbon is 450 grams lighter than our last year's alloy. So really you're comparing apples to apples on the alloy, and you get about 450 gram weight savings on the carbon. So to wrap it up, this is the new Aurum in carbon here. Awesome bike, ready to rip up the World Cup circuit DH.